Perry pencil.
Alright everybody, it is time to learn how to draw Wreck-It Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph 2. Now let's begin. First we want to start off putting in an inch line below the top of the page and an inch line just below the bottom of the page. Then you want to divide your page in half. Once you have your position, with Wreck-It Ralph, you want to start off with an oval shape, then another oval shape on top of that, because his head is shaped that way. His jaw's round, and the top of his head is smaller. Then you want to drop the ears in. Those are two ovals as well. Overall, you want to simplify your shapes. They're all ovals at this point, even for the one on his neck. His neck is raised. Now we're going to go ahead and measure his head with the index and thumb. Slide it over. Do your left and right for your shoulders. That way you know where you want to drop your pencil lines in for the shoulder. Now, he has huge arms, so you want to start with fairly large size circles for his shoulders. Let a line here for the indication of where his body's going to be, and from that you can draw lines on either side of his body, and then on the outside go straight down with straight lines. Once you have those lines defined, you can begin putting a thumb line in and doing the same thing for his left side. It's very jagged. Then you can start boxing in his fists. I have a line going straight from the right to the left so that I can make the fist as even as possible. Then a line for his waist. You bring a line just above a little bit, and this is where the indication of his thumbs are going to go. Now we can begin putting in the interior of his legs, and then putting the the exterior of his legs in. Then you can start blocking his feet in. And they're just simply going to be square shapes. Overall, we're going to go ahead and zoom in and get a closer look at his face. I'm going to be dealing with his face for right now, so I'm going to be dealing with his face for a while. So you want to put his eye lines in, and notice I switched out for a mechanical pencil to get a little fine detail in. You want to begin getting the exterior of his face, or the contour of his face in. Immediately I'm going for the eyebrows. They're very simple. He has a frown, and his eyebrows are thick, so you want to go ahead and lay a little heavy in and go back and forth to darken the eyebrows. Now that I'm completed, I'm going to go ahead and put the bridge of his nose in and immediately begin sketching the eyes in. They are just simply two circles, not ovals, because he has an excited look in his eyes. Same thing for his nose, is a simple circle. This tutorial is going to be as simple structure as possible because it's straightforward. Now we're back at it. I'm going to redefine his eyes. His eyes are somewhat closer together than usual for a character. Usually the eyes are a width apart of the same distance of one eye. In this case, his eyes are close together because he's a video game character. So for his nose, he has a simple lines underneath that. And here I'm going back in and redefining his eyebrows. For his mouth, it's a simple half smirk. So on the right side, it's a little bit lower than the left side. And right now I'm doing this in a sketchy fashion. So just keep in mind, when we're working on Ralph's face, it's going to be sketched out. This is the rough portion of the tutorial. Now for his ears, we're not going to see a lot of it because he does have hair that covers a great portion of his ears on both sides. Notice I have sideburns that's covering it a bit. So you don't need to worry about exactly what his ears look like completely because you don't see it. Now, 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 go ahead and put his hairline in for his forehead. His hair is spiky. So what you want to do is just want to follow. If you need to at this point during a tutorial, I always encourage inspiring artists, when you see me doing detailed drawings like this, go ahead on and feel free to pause and catch up and do what you need to do in order to see certain things that I'm doing. It is very important to get an understanding of what I'm doing. So I encourage that. So if you notice here, his hair is spiky. And so for his hairstyle, you want to particularly pay close attention to what direction I'm doing the pencils and have them come to a spike at the end. You can count them if you want to. Sometimes I count how many spikes a character have in his hair, or sometimes I just go ahead on and just free flow with it and just go with it. Now, I'm raising his shoulder a bit. So you want to bring that line up just to where I'm measuring it now, the ears are. And he has a collar that's showing on kind of both the sides of the ear. And of course on his right side, we're putting in his, looks like he was wearing a jumper. So you want to put a strap on his right shoulder. And here I'm just sketching in with a rectangular shape. And then I'm gonna drop in a square shape right underneath that. That is actually the latch that holds the bottom portion of his jumper to the top part. So it's like the button that you put in and slide down. After that, if you notice, I'm going on a diagonal. If you notice, I'm going on a diagonal from the right side to his left side. This is where the jumper has a flap that's leaning over in the front. Now I'm going to begin concentrating on the first button that he has for his shirt on top, and the simple lines that parallel one another, and a circle in the middle for the button. Now I'm focusing on the crease in between his armpit and his shoulder. Now Ralph, or Wreck-It Ralph, has ripped sleeves. So if you notice, I'm going up, down, up again, and then down on the outside of the shoulder or arm. Also on the right side is the same approach. Up, down, up, and then an arc that goes into the actual armpit. Now focusing on his fist. For the thumb, you want to angle it into the crease that we have already established in the beginning of the drawing. His fists are very blocky, so you don't need to be afraid of how round or things need to be. Ralph has very blockaded forms to his hand. So if you notice, I took an arc for the inside of the crease with his index finger, have that come back, and then for his knuckles, you want to count them if you need to. You want to put 4 there. You have the thumb already, then you want 4 knuckles, and then the index finger is the one that's showing the most. So you want to see that, and do the same thing for the right side. Put that arc there in between the thumb and the index finger. Notice I'm matching them up. You want to have that line come in towards the front part of the index finger, but not too close and cutting it off. And then doing the same thing on the right hand, and you're dropping in 4 knuckles. 3, and then 4. You don't see the pinky as much. Now we're putting his pant leg. It's just it's cut off as well. Same thing for the left. It's just kind of like a hill and then another little hill and bring it back down. Those are the shapes that I see with that. For his feet are extremely blockaded or blocky. And for his toes, if you notice, I put a line in because his toes almost come off as if they were round and they were chopped off, but they have a certain form to them, so they're very blocky. There's no roundness to his toes. If you notice the way I'm doing it and taking an approach to it, I'm making sure that the front of them are a block and then on the side of the block, and then I'm putting the individual toe lines in. And of course, counting them, make sure that they are 5. Let me repeat the same process for his right foot. Start with the biggest toe, the ring toe, middle toe, and then the pinky. Now, we're going to deal with the plaid pattern in his shirt. With the plaid pattern, you can go ahead and go straight across where the chest is, put another line right where the middle of his chest is, and just before the top of his shoulder. Taper it off, let it fall down on both sides of his arm. Then the plaid comes in where you drop it just below the arm itself. The strap is covering the other one, and you don't see that. And then you have a line that comes just before the cutoff point is on his sleeve. Overall, Ralph has been completely drawn. I'm going to clean it up with an eraser, and we can go ahead and look at it when it's completed. And that's going to complete the Wreck-It Ralph drawing. Definitely leave a comment in the comment section, give it a like, don't forget to subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts are. Also, at the end of this video, click the link in the description box to learn about Perry Pencil t-shirts now available on Amazon. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe by pressing this round button at the bottom. Also, click on one of the 2 top videos at the top. Please like this video, tell a friend, and share it on Facebook. Thank you. Perry Pencil.